Relationships are the foundation of our emotional well-being, but they're not always easy. Conflicts happen, and how we navigate them can either strengthen our bond or drive a wedge between us. In today's video, we're diving deep into the psychology of conflict resolution, exploring why we behave the way we do during disagreements and how we can build stronger, healthier connections. We'll also discuss practical strategies to foster trust, accountability, and deeper understanding so you can turn conflicts into opportunities for growth. Defensiveness stems from childhood conditioning. Defensiveness often arises as a coping mechanism developed during childhood, particularly when a person has experienced criticism or emotional neglect in their formative years. If children grow up in environments where they face constant judgment, blame, or lack of validation, they may internalize feelings of unworthiness or fear of abandonment. These feelings can persist into adulthood, causing individuals to react defensively when criticized in relationships. Instead of listening to their partner's concerns, they immediately put up walls to protect themselves from perceived emotional harm. This pattern can be difficult to break, as it feels like a necessary self-preservation tool learned early on. In relationships, this defensive response often prevents open communication and understanding. Rather than addressing the root issue, the defensiveness deflects or escalates the situation, making it harder to resolve conflicts. The person who becomes defensive may also unintentionally shut down the conversation, leaving their partner feeling frustrated, unheard, and distanced. This pattern may continue over time, creating emotional walls that make it difficult for both partners to engage in meaningful, empathetic dialogue. The cycle of defensive behavior ultimately undermines the possibility of resolution and connection in the relationship. Impact of destructive behaviors. Destructive behaviors in relationships such as defensiveness, criticism, contempt, and stonewalling have profound emotional impacts that can erode the foundation of trust and intimacy. Defensiveness, for example, occurs when one partner refuses to take accountability or deflects responsibility, leaving the other partner feeling unheard and invalidated. Instead of fostering open communication, it creates emotional walls, isolating both individuals. Criticism, on the other hand, attacks a partner's character or actions in a way that feels personal and demeaning. This often leaves the recipient feeling attacked, belittled, and inadequate, ultimately fostering resentment and self-doubt. These behaviors disrupt the mutual respect and empathy necessary for a healthy connection. Contempt and stonewalling are particularly toxic and signal deeper relational distress. Contempt, characterized by mocking, sarcasm, or disdain, conveys a sense of superiority, making the other partner feel inferior and rejected. It corrodes emotional safety and mutual respect, often leading to feelings of hopelessness and worthlessness. Coping mechanisms. Coping mechanisms developed in the past, often during childhood or formative years, are frequently rooted in survival instincts that helped manage difficult or emotionally intense situations. For instance, a person who grew up in an environment where expressing emotions was unsafe might have learned to suppress their feelings or withdraw as a way to avoid conflict. Similarly, those who experienced criticism may have developed defensiveness as a shield to protect their self-esteem. While these mechanisms served a purpose in their original context, they can resurface in present relationships during moments of conflict, often causing more harm than good. What once provided safety can now hinder open communication and mutual understanding, leading to misunderstandings and emotional distance. In adult relationships, these outdated coping strategies can create a cycle of unproductive or harmful interactions. For example, withdrawing or becoming defensive may prevent meaningful dialogue, leaving issues unresolved and partners feeling disconnected. Over time, reliance on these mechanisms can lead to frustration and a sense of stagnation in the relationship. Recognizing these patterns is a crucial step toward growth, allowing individuals to replace old, maladaptive strategies with healthier ones, such as active listening, vulnerability, and empathy. This shift can create a more supportive and nurturing environment where conflicts are addressed constructively. Physiological signs of conflict escalation. During conflict, the body often reacts instinctively, providing physical cues that escalation is occurring. Signs like an increased heart rate, flushed face, rapid breathing, or a higher-pitched voice are indicators that the body is in a heightened state of arousal, commonly linked to the fight or flight response. These physiological changes occur because the brain perceives the situation as a threat, even if the threat is simply a disagreement with a partner. Recognizing these signs is essential because they signal the need to pause and de-escalate before the conversation spirals into unproductive arguments or emotional harm. Ignoring these signs can result in further escalation, as heightened physiological arousal makes it difficult to think clearly, regulate emotions, or engage empathetically. This state often leads to reactive behaviors like yelling, interrupting, or shutting down entirely. Listening with curiosity. Listening with curiosity involves approaching your partner's thoughts and feelings with an open mind and genuine interest. Instead of jumping to conclusions or preparing a rebuttal while they speak, ask thoughtful questions to understand their perspective better. This active listening approach demonstrates respect and fosters emotional safety, encouraging your partner to share more openly. It's essential to avoid judgment during this process. Even if you disagree with their viewpoint, showing curiosity helps uncover the emotions and needs driving their perspective. When both partners feel heard and understood, it lays the foundation for deeper connection and mutual respect. An important aspect of listening with curiosity is recognizing that validation does not equal agreement. You don't have to share the same opinion to acknowledge the legitimacy of your partner's feelings. Repair attempts and accountability. Repair attempts are efforts made to de-escalate tension and rebuild connection after a conflict. They can take the form of an apology, humor, or a kind gesture, all of which signal a willingness to move forward. Taking ownership of your actions plays a crucial role in these attempts. Acknowledging your part in the conflict demonstrates maturity and self-awareness, which strengthens trust between partners. A sincere apology, free of excuses or deflection, conveys a genuine desire to make amends, shows accountability and empathy, helping to heal emotional wounds. Repair attempts are most effective when combined with actionable steps to prevent similar issues in the future. This might include changing a behavior or improving communication in a specific area. Making these changes shows your partner that you value the relationship enough to grow and improve. Accountability also fosters a sense of partnership, as it shifts the dynamic from blame to mutual understanding and resolution. Over time, consistent repair attempts and accountability create a stronger bond, reinforcing the idea that conflicts can be opportunities for growth rather than threats to the relationship. Relationships are never perfect, but with the right mindset and tools, they can be incredibly rewarding. By recognizing the impact of old coping mechanisms, understanding the signs of conflict escalation, and practicing active listening and accountability, you can strengthen your connection and build a healthier foundation with your partner. If you found today's insights helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might need it. And let us know in the comments what strategies have helped you navigate conflicts in your relationships. Until next time, take care and keep growing.